Here I go. Welcome back, everybody, to another week, another day, another evening in the ladies' room, wherein we do lobotomies, also known as lobotomies in the ladies' room. Hosted, of course, by our genius, bright scholar who's about to graduate grad school, Donovan.
You're
And then there's me in the Midwest, Kira.
okay. Miss on her second master's degree.
Okay.
Gonna be a teacher for students with disabilities. Hello. Published writer. That girl.
I am all those things. And then,
Yeah.
of course, we cannot leave out the person we lovingly refer to as the cousin of our podcast. He's
Yeah.
5'8" and never late. Here's Temi. Just kidding. He's over 6 feet tall.
No, the worst part about this though is I had just had a conversation about how for years, for work calls, like my colleagues during COVID, etc., clients, whenever they'd see me in person, they would always be like, "Wow, you're so much taller than I expected." And I'm like, "How tall do you think I was?" Some woman had the audacity to say 5'5".
Oh, she
I was like, "Bro, do I
violated you
give
with
five?"
that one.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was like, "Do I give 5'5"? You guys can be honest with me."
No, you
No.
don't. I will say when I saw you at my birthday, I was actually quite taken aback because that was the first time I saw you in a long time. And I was like, oh, this is like a door frame.
Yeah.
No,
But
you
how
being
tall do you think I
tall.
was before you saw me?
You being tall makes sense to me, I feel.
Who, me?
No, Temi. Donovan,
Oh.
you do not look tall.
No.
I feel I'll be fair. I feel like I give some of my quirks give short energy.
It doesn't give short, but it does give. I say I'm 6 feet, but I'm 5'10".
Which is arguably worse than just 5'5" and owning that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'll take that. That's true.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, hi, I'm Temi, not 5'8".
Do you
I was
have
trying.
anything
I was
else
thinking
you'd
of
like
a
to?
thinking of a rhyme. Anyways, what else should people know about you?
Yeah.
6'3", you know what I'm saying, Nigerian, single, for whoever's watching this, you know what I mean? From Chicago, I've known Donovan since high school. Went to school in Nebraska. We can unpack that later, though. Live in DC right now. I work in advocacy and lobbying and arts and entertainment and so many other things. What am I missing? Is that it? Is that good?
That's great.
Yeah.
I do feel like every time you said you were single, though, I heard the saxophones get a little louder.
Really? Nah, please say
So
more.
I won't. So we're gonna go ahead and start with something that we call our thought starter that gets us in the flow, in the juices of our episode topic. So Timmy, last week Kira and I went over our icks, which
Mm.
involved, smacking of food, talking during movies, feet, ballet flats. I want to know, what is your ick? And then I have a follow-up question.
My ick is going to be rich coming from me. But actually, I think everyone. I really hate a pick me. I hate like an obvious pick me. Does that make sense?
Can you
Yeah.
define that for the audience?
Yeah, I think in my world, a pick me is someone who can't read the social cues of when to, put themselves out there, if that makes sense. Right. So I think everyone tries to, like flaunt themselves when they can, like appropriate times, somewhat discreet. I think a pick me is typically the ones that are like, no, we can all tell what you're doing. Like, do your thing, but maybe not around us. You know? How would you guys define a pick me?
Mm, Um, I guess similarly, someone who's just obnoxious about their presence.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like, all right, girl, all right, guy, all right, they, them.
Okay, you.
Oh, okay, you,
Okay, you.
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
got it.
Yeah, I
We
would
understand.
agree. They also, I've noticed pick-me's are very prone to like in their hunt for providing entertainment nobody wants.
Yeah.
They they often find themselves putting people down for like no reason.
Yeah.
Like you being an asshole doesn't mean you're not ugly. Pack
Mm.
it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is true.
Pack it up.
So to follow that up, Timmy, when you think of the one that got away, right? What's the first word that comes to mind?
Racist.
See, I didn't think that's where that was going.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry.
record
Yeah.
scratch.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to intrude on that thought.
Please.
How are they the one that got away if the first thought is
Exactly.
racist?
See, and I said also
Interesting.
Nebraska, and that we can talk about that later, right?
Hmm.
So I'll be an open book today, just because it's lobotomies in the ladies' room. So my first relationship in Nebraska, this girl, deeply in love, doing our thing, hanging out. Um, and after a while, right, I'd realized I'm not getting any social media play, no presence, no nothing, right? But I
Mm,
was like, oh, like I'd love to like meet your fam. There's always something that came up, you know?
Mm.
And then after about like a year or so, because I'm a simp, finally I got to meet a sister, got to meet a sister's boyfriend. So I thought I was inching my way in there. Till all of a sudden one day, the mom FaceTimes the daughter, like my girlfriend at the time. And I see a quick, oh, like with Temi. And then like back to her. And I was like, oh, what was that? I was like, what was going on? She's like, oh, like nothing. Just FaceTime my mom. I was like, does she know we're dating? She's like, oh no, like not yet. Like I haven't gotten around to tell her. And I was like, interesting. Kept on dating after that, probably for like 5+ months. And I get broken up with out of nowhere and things are going swimmingly. Things are going great. And I was like, why is this happening? What's going on? So I was like, no, let's like keep on doing our thing. A few months passed still. And finally, I get a request to talk to this woman's father. So me and this man, we meet up at a Wendy's, bro. A Wendy's on my college campus is crazy. All true story. I'm sure there's security footage out there somewhere. And he grills me for like 2 hours about my religious stance, my political stances, my family background, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, dude,
Holy shit. Holy fuck.
yeah. I mean, after that, we tried to date low key for a while, but obviously that wasn't going to work out. So that's why racist is the first thing I think of, because he ended up forcing us to go our separate ways.
That is crazy.
that's pretty loaded.
That's
Pretty
pretty.
loaded. Do you guys need a lobotomy after you?
I think so.
Wait,
Yeah.
but like, has that experience then like followed you through like your dating life post that? Like, do you get wary about meeting parents because that's like kind of
Yeah.
traumatic? Like being held in a Wendy's for like
Crazy.
more than 30 minutes, frankly, is a lot. But then like hours,
Right.
But yeah,
plural.
I don't. I don't think so. I think because after that, I realized that no matter what I do or however I engage with parents moving forward, it can never be as bad as that. You know what I'm saying? Like I already hit the bottom of the barrel as it relates to like kind of meeting the parents for the first time.
Hmm.
I think I go in pretty stress free nowadays.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's tea. I know.
That's
That
I
is
know.
tea. We got the ladies' room exclusive.
Oh yeah.
Yum.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, well, to the
hold on.
audience.
I want to hear about you guys now.
Oh
What they got
no.
away?
Well, I don't have a
The
one that
word.
got away because I'm
Yeah, I don't either.
actually no, like not even to be like a douche about this. Every person I've ever dated has been evil. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're away from me now.
Yeah, same.
Wait, like like a very obviously evil, or very low key evil.
No, a very low key, cunning, like
Mm.
thief in the night, sleep
Mm,
paralysis demon kind of evil.
I don't know, girl. For me personally, the two white men that I was with were pretty overtly evil.
No.
um,
Like,
although my favorite ex, he got away in the fact that like we just should have never dated and remained friends. Like
mm,
I joke with like Tyler and also you guys that like I do have a favorite ex. I do. And he's great. He's just a bad boyfriend. And had we just
Mm.
remained friends, dude, we'd be besties till this day. So that's about as far as like the one who got he wasn't the one, and I'm glad he's away. But we should have just been friends.
see,
Fair.
I can't even say that. They're all just terrible.
Dang.
That's
Wait, is there like a common thread?
Um, you know what? That goes into my like quality that we talked about last week, accountability. None of them are like
Mm.
forthcoming about who they are, how they feel, anything of the sort. And that became a problem. Like if I ask you, hey, how are you feeling about this? Or hey, how are you? Or hey, I want to make sure we're on the same page about something. And then you just lie
Yeah.
because you want to so called save my feelings, but you're actually doing the opposite by lying and then trying to carry out the lie and it fails. That's evil when you could just be honest.
be gone with you.
Be gone with all of you.
That's true.
But this pretty much carries into our topic for today, which is continued from last week. So, in our episode Boys Go to Jupiter, which dropped at this point, it's today, but when this is live, it'll be last week. We're talking about our relationship dynamics. Kira being in a very loving and committed relationship, me not. And then also having Timmy here. We're doing research.
Oh my god.
So we have one of like the four men that we allow in orbit to come onto our podcast and get some perspective as to why do men. And so Timmy, no pressure, but
Lucky
you are
me.
the representative
Hmm.
for mankind right now.
Are
I'm
you ready
okay.
to be grilled?
I'm ready to be grilled. I'm ready to give some hot takes, some cold takes.
Ooh, cold takes. You
Yeah.
know what? I think let's start this way. What are some of your hot takes right now about
Hmm.
dating
About dating?
in the dating sphere?
I mean, so the background there is I haven't been on a date in a long time.
Oh
Like
yeah,
since I got
think
back to
about it.
DC. So me and my ex we broke up in September and I haven't been on a date since. Um but being in DC, I feel like it is just like the worst of the worst dating experiences for everyone involved, right? Like truly I think every single person I've talked to that's like single and dating right now is like one of my homies just moved up to New York because they couldn't take it in DC anymore.
Which is crazy because it's no better up here.
No, but DC's bad. DC's really, really bad. Because think
But
about this: you have to deal with people who like think that they're
Mm.
extremely, extremely high achieving, right? Like they've typically always gotten what they want, right? They're probably working in Congress. They're probably broke, right? They probably are like a little bit neurotic. They have like these interesting quirks or like these specific things that they kind of nitpick at. But then also everyone's trying to network and keep their reputation high, right? So like there's like this veneer of fakeness, right? That like everyone has to like dig through. And 3 months in, then you get to really understand, from what I hear, that like you get to finally understand who a person is, and typically that person is just a mess behind the scenes. Um, so I heard DC is just terrible. But my hot take is that in DC, I've heard so much about how terrible the men are. I think my hot take is that over the last decade or so, we've obviously been on this like men are trash wave, but I think we're finally starting to hit parody again. Or like the things I'm hearing from like just the ways in which some of like the women in the dating pool right now have been like operating is scary. It's scary hours. It's keeping me away. It's keeping me out of the field, honestly.
It's keeping you on the porch.
It's keeping me on the porch. It's keeping me on the sidewalk. I'm not in the streets entirely.
Dude, the way that you describe dating in DC, it feels like just an in-person LinkedIn newsfeed all the
Pretty
time.
I mean,
much.
absolutely. Like when I
That
was, oh, go ahead.
that sounds miserable.
Yeah, there was a date that I went on where I mean, I'll just give you the spark notes of it. We went on a date. We were like talking on Hinge for like maybe a month, and like that's already long enough, right? So we
Wait,
finally
wait, wait. I'm sorry. Pause. Hinge for a month
like just texting back and forth on Hinge. Like we'd miss a
through the
text
app?
through the app, dude. I know. I mean, and part of that's obviously on me. This is back in like I think what 2022 maybe. Um,
Okay.
and we're like going back and forth, whatever. We finally meet up, and like we go to this like I forget where it's at. I think it's a spot called Red Derby. We sit down, we're chatting. She asks me what my sign is. I say that I'm a Virgo. She's like, "Oh, interesting." She picks up her purse and she leaves, bro. She gets up and she walks out, right? And I don't hear from her again. Like I like text her, I'm like, "Yo, like what was that?" I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" And I like, don't get a response for like a little bit, and then she texts me a little bit later, like, "Oh, like I'm sorry, like maybe that was dramatic, but I just don't think we're gonna work out. Like I've dated Virgos before, and at this point, like I'm not, entirely indoctrinated into what the kind of astrology signs are doing, etc. But then like 2 years later, bruh, in Philly, I'm like living in Philly at this point. I've completely moved out of DC. I get a LinkedIn request from this woman, bro. And I'm like, that's just DC. In my mind, that's been my understanding what the DC market's like. But
And you know what's crazy,
mm,
Kira? Timmy's been telling me you need to come to DC so I can show you how it's done.
oh my god,
So
do you
we
want to
can,
give
so we can.
some more context? I'm not talking about dating in DC, bro. I'm talking about taking initiative in the dating scene for you, Donovan. So we can unpack
You
that if
didn't have
you
to say that.
want.
I was just
I was like, you're not going to take my words out of context, right?
no, 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 no. You didn't have to do all that.
Listen. Mother
Look,
Temi. This is our podcast. We can lie.
Mm, for sure. For sure.
We can run with narratives that may not align with yours.
we are the
Because we're
news.
where? In the ladies' room, specifically in the third stall.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna malign, if we're going to begin to just like curate stories of our own nature, our yarn
Mm.
then
Okay,
Mhm,
hold
mhm.
on now.
When you guys see why my
Pause.
hot take might not even be that hot, right? Men and women, bro.
Pause.
We're right back.
Pause. It's
What's up?
not misaligned
Mm.
or a curated story. It's the truth.
Well, it is to me.
Mm. God.
Not in
It's
this
the truth to
world.
me. Pretty much.
Not in this world. Not the world I'm living in.
So then, okay, you say taking initiative. What does that look like to you?
From a man's perspective or a woman's
Yeah.
perspective? Man's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, in dating or in a relationship? I think those are different things.
Let's go through all the steps.
Okay.
Let's start back at our dive bar with the man wearing ballet flats. You are
Oh
said man
Christ.
wearing the ballet flats.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, so I'm right now I'm a 5'8" man in ballet flats. Is that
And a
that's who
tote
I am?
and a tote
In
bag.
a tote bag.
And a
In a
tote
tote
bag.
bag.
Actually, not to sidetrack again, but I told Timmy he would benefit from a purse.
You would. Where are you gonna put all your loot?
In my tote bag.
Exactly. No,
But
I
like
mean like a bag.
you can't bring the tote bag like to the club.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, I think you're right. I met somebody this weekend. This dude who used to work in fashion in New York. Actually, he had a purse, and I was like, I think I could do
It's
that.
it's a look. I can see
So
that.
look,
I would love that for you, actually.
really,
Yeah.
like one of those big purses, or like just like a little small joint.
Like a little handbag. Like a shoulder
Or
bag.
both.
Both.
Why not like one of those woven like shoulder bags? I
Mm.
could see that. You throwing all your books and like your headphones and, you know, your trinkets.
With your things. Your items.
But like, why wouldn't? So you're just saying a tote isn't fashionable enough?
No, it is, but a tote has a time and a place.
Okay,
Right.
A
I see.
bag also has a time and a
You're
place.
right. You're right.
It would be a
Might try it
great
out.
it would be a great conversation starter for when you start going on LinkedIn dates with the members
Exactly.
of
Never
DC's
again.
population.
But I digress. Where's initiative? Go ahead.
I think as a 5'8" man with a purse and ballet flats, I think what initiative looks like for me is going back all the way back to the Hinge conversation, not letting it drag out to be a month-long conversation on Hinge, right? I think at this point he's got to get in there, get out of Hinge, right? Like no one on Hinge is trying to stay in Hinge for too long, right?
Hmm.
So if you lean into that, have a little back and forth, main back and forth. What's up? How you doing? When you free? You're cool at this restaurant or this bar. Let's run that soon, right? I think that's initiative step one. Step two, my answer now is different from what it would have been like 5 years ago. Um, where I think right now it's about just like setting the intention early of like what I'm even in the dating market for. Because I feel like everyone has the assumption that the three little tags that you can pick on Hinge of like still figuring it out, like open for whatever, or like a relationship, whatever, isn't actually, you know, I don't know. I feel like it boils it down to three basic concepts that aren't actually descriptive of what people might actually be looking for or the pace that people are looking for. So like making sure that we talk about that. I think 3 years ago, I mean 5 years ago, would have been the conversation more like, so like I said a relationship, but like, do you have to how long until we actually have to make that official? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Well, actually,
No.
that brings me to like a B plot question,
Yeah.
specifically with men on Hinge. What do men mean when they put on their profiles like short term, open to long, or like
What? Yeah, what does that
because,
mean?
like, to me, that's just how, like, dating works. Like, you date someone casually until you realize you don't want it to be casual anymore. And then there's some level of exclusivity. And then you're in a
Yeah,
long term relationship.
Yeah.
Does that just
But
mean they're trying to fug?
nah, I think it's
that's a little too delayed for me.
nah, I think it's like a firewall. Because again, unfortunately, again, I was one of those
Mm,
boys, right? And I'll walk you through my thought process where I was like, for exactly what I just said of like, how long can I stretch this thing out, right? Because for me, the talking phase, like just because we're in a talking phase doesn't mean we're necessarily going to date. No matter how much I might like you, and no matter how much you might like me, right?
Mm.
Like you're actually figuring out whether this is a long term play for you. If I put short term, open to long, it's like, listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but I could be convinced. You know what I'm saying?
Could be
So,
convinced is crazy to me.
I know it is. I know it is. I know. See, but that's the thing. That's the part about initiative, right? Where I think at the time I was looking for to like have one plausible deniability. If like I ended things at any point for any reason, I'd be like, well, I told you from the jump, or my Hinge profile told you that I wasn't, looking for anything, whatever. But obviously, at some point, you grow up and you realize that, you know, you could actually just say the words of what you're looking for early, like sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? Um, Donovan's
That's
disgusted.
I,
Look at her face. She's like, I've met people like you before.
listen way too many times. Way
I
too many
know.
times.
I
I'm
know.
not disgusted. I'm just processing because
Hmm.
I'm like, see, if I would have put that, the two and two together like that, then
Yeah.
things would make sense.
Hmm.
But also, I will say, although you may think of it that way, that's not how everybody moves.
True.
Because there are many who are out there who approach it in a very serious matter, who may have that short term open along.
For
So
sure.
you're going into it like, oh, okay, this is actually like a legit, I don't want to say courting because I feel like that's a strong term for what they're doing, but it's looking like it's gonna go somewhere in the long term from the jump, right? And then they flip it and it becomes that, oh well, kind of like what you're saying, like that firewall, like there's something that they pick out that they're just like, oh well, this isn't working, so gotta go,
Yeah, I gotta
gotta
block.
skedaddle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious though, because even at the time, I knew that me putting like short term open to long was gonna filter me out of like many women's like options because they'd be like, this dude's fucking around. So like I'm swiping left every single time I see that. Like when you guys would see that on like Hinge or Tinder, whatever it was, like what was your first thought?
A fun time, not a long time. So I
Yeah.
usually avoid it. I 9 times, not let me not say nine, 8 times out of 10, I usually hit that little X, and I'm like, nah,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
unless
because you're looking for something serious and like you're not trying to
yeah,
deal with that. Okay.
yeah,
Good.
the last time I was on dating apps, I don't even think Hinge had the option yet to like be that specific.
Damn, boy,
It
you've been
was
out
either
for a
like,
minute, huh?
yeah, I'm a
She
kept
got the
woman.
lights quiet. She got the last bite at a nom. Truly.
Jesus.
I don't even think because I've been banned on Tinder since 2020, so I don't know if that's like an option. This is not
How
about
do
me.
you banned on Tinder, though?
This is not about me.
It is now. Banned on Tinder?
Yeah, I got banned on Tinder because I turned the same guy. Like, when you're on the apps long enough, you start getting the same people.
Yeah,
Like, you'll delete them for a few months, you'll re-download them, and it's the same 10 fucking clowns.
yeah.
Well, I was, I found myself in a circumstance when I was born alone during the pandemic on Tinder where I had like re-downloaded it, ended up with the same group of idiots, and I like kept turning this one guy down, but I would always forget that I was turning this guy down because he was hot. So I'd like swipe on him, we'd match, and I'd be like, oh, this is why I don't like you. Well, he reported
Isn't
my
it?
profile a bunch of times saying that I was soliciting sex on the internet.
Are you for real?
Wasn't doing that, and I've tried, like, in my periods of being single since then, I've tried so hard to get my Tinder account back, but Tinder's like, no, hooker, get off the internet. And I'm like, okay. So
See,
I've
men are
been,
just vengeful sometimes. That's crazy.
dude, I've been stuck in like the Kia asylum that is like Hinge and Bumble when I've been like single and on the apps. But like, I know the last time I was on Hinge, it at least said like if you were looking for casual short term or long term. I was not looking for anything long term though, so like I didn't feel any type of way when I would see someone just say casual or short term because we
Mhm.
talked about it in the last episode. The last time I was like on the apps in earnest, I was just trying to get laid. Like I was not looking for a significant other. I was looking for some easy man with a clean bill of health.
That's so real.
That's crazy. That's crazy, but so real.
I
Wow.
had a great time.
That's fair. Jesus.
But then I will say, I did start running into the same problems that I've found like men, and I hate relating to men, but like men seem to be getting into, where I would put short term or casual, and then every so often one of them would like filter through that like genuinely was like, I can change her mind. We're gonna date
Mm.
and she'll
Mm.
fall in love. And the gag was I never did. I was always like, get out of my house.
So is that
Don't
is
let the
that
door hit you on the way out.
Get out of here.
is that like what do you think that's about? Like even if you set your kind of boundary or the expectation of like not necessarily wanting something long term, but someone comes in thinking that they can convince you, like what do you think that's born out of? Because I
Oh,
think the same thing about like men who are like, I know I don't have to carry a child to like term, but like I need kids, and like as my wife, like you have to have kids. I'm gonna like pressure you to do that. Like what's that
mm,
born out of?
so I'm not totally sure. I can only like imply, but
Mm-hmm.
like I think at least with the types of people that were matching with me on apps like way back when, I was living in like a super like white part of the city. Like it was like all middle to upper class, like families and stuff. So like my surrounding radius was a lot of like your Wrigleyville white
Mm.
boys and like your Lakeview like tech bros and shit like that. And I very much do not look like I am in the business space. And so I think part of it did come from, and one of them did actually tell me that they thought they could change me, and I was like, why
Excuse
though?
me?
Like, why though? And one of them asked, they were like, do you think you're gonna have your piercings in forever? Like, have you ever regretted a tattoo? And they were asking like in earnest, like they were genuinely like, is this like a phase you're going through? Are you growing out of it? And at that point, I'd had this shit in my nose for 5 years at that point. I've been like decently covered in tattoos since I was 18 years old. Like clearly this is not nothing's changing here. But
Yeah.
it seemed like a lot of like post pandemic. Like you still had to carry your Vax card everywhere the last time I was on like dating apps, but it very much seemed like people needed a challenge that wasn't work related because all anyone did for a
Mm-hmm.
year was sit in their house and like fuck off on Zoom. And so like being put in a situation where it's like this is something I would never ordinarily do.
Yeah.
I seem to be doing very well with those types of people, which is like fine and well. I'm glad that you had your little adventure
Yeah.
or something. But I also do know myself well enough that like I don't entertain long term things, even like long term like hookups, because any type of relationship, and maybe this is a hot take, but like any type of relationship you have with another person deserves some modicum of like respect and intimacy in it.
What?
Oh please.
No.
But like, but like, even if you're just hooking up, like, even if you are only seeing this person after the like between the hours of like midnight and 4 in the morning, like, there's still a level of respect needed there. And so, like, if you couldn't respect, like, don't call me at 3 a.m. if you know I've been home for 2 hours. I'm not leaving my house just to go like have bad sex with you.
That's
Go
real.
down the hall. I'm sure you'll find someone who's like into it.
Go down
But
the
like
hall.
having boundaries and shit, like I've not run into a problem with my significant others though that they've ever tried to change like a hard and fast boundary with me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I could deal with that. I'm gonna be so real.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, especially around that time, even now, I feel like that people put a lot on the pandemic, but especially being a teacher, like the pandemic really did mess up people. And I think there's this kind of mass loneliness that's going on and like need for connection, and a lot of both men and women are just like trying to play catch up, I think. And it's like, all right, well, all these years have been taken. I should be at this point. So now I feel like Clay knocking at this little rat hanging on his thing. Like they're just banging on like this, I don't know, punching bag. Like I need, partnership. I need attention. I need affection. I need all these things, which totally valid. I get it, but I agree. But it's a bit much
Yeah.
the way everyone is going up. I'm not gonna. Well, can I say the way that everyone's going about it? Yes, but also the use of the apps is just so oversaturated, and it seems like it's oversaturated with not really good choices.
Yeah.
No.
So it's kind of frustrating.
I mean, one of the things I was thinking about too, because I haven't re-downloaded the apps, thank God. Um, but like I think the I'm a bit curious because I think off of what you just said, Donovan, the I'm curious about are how selfish people are like navigating using the apps. Because like here to your point before, it sounds as if like you're kind of swiping on people, not you specifically, but like the general you, like people are swiping on like people they think they might be able to like change or contort to fit their own like ideal for a relationship, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously never at all getting enough information about a person like off of you know like a profile that has three questions, right?
Right.
But if like my assumption at this point is like if you find someone who's like quirky enough, it's like, oh, I can work on that, right? Or like if this person is like quirky and I want someone quirky, but I also like want to like travel and all these things, like I think maybe you guys can disagree with me, like I think there is something like healthy where it's like you have your own standards and like boxes you want checked in like a suitable partner, but I think there's something entirely different than just wanting like a companion to be like a passenger in your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that
That's a
right
great
now,
way to put it.
yeah, I think like right now we have so many people who are expecting like a passenger in their life, and I feel like that's why there's often so much friction, right? Um, is like what I assume and kind of what I've been hearing from a lot of my friends who are in
It's
the dating scene right now too.
I feel like that's a really good way to put it. It's kind of like you're being a willing bystander, not so much a partner.
Yeah.
Because I think even like you were saying, oh, I want someone quirky. I want someone who travels. I want someone who is adventurous. I want someone who likes to go on adventures, whatever. We all want to do that. And
Hmm.
that's all the apps are full of when you have these prompts. And it's like, okay, we're all looking for the same things, yet nobody's
Yeah.
nobody's getting together. Nobody like nothing is happening. So there
Hmm.
has to be something more. It has to be something at the core.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more than those simple personality traits and wants. It's also how someone's outlook is on the world, what they how they practice their spirituality or if they don't,
Yeah.
or you know, just their views and being and what essentially people want to put up with. Because I think there is also the idea, at least for women, that we end up settling at some point.
For sure.
And that's just something that I personally refuse to do.
Yeah.
Um, but it sucks because it's like, what else? What else is there? It does it get better? If so, where?
None
Send us
this.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
we are getting to the age where people start divorcing. So
No,
you're
for
That is
gonna
true.
have
for
you're
real.
gonna have a dating pool soon.
No, dude, I feel like not enough people are talking about that. Like
Oh God,
everyone's
dude!
always on that.
Isn't that crazy? We're
If
already at the age where like
first
people are on
divorce
their second or third marriage.
dude,
Yeah.
When I tell you, if I were single right now, thank God I'm not. Sorry to you guys and what the fuck you guys are going through out there.
Come
But
on.
the way that I would be like thirsting after recently divorced women right now, if I had the time, I'd be like, girl, it's okay.
I'm here.
So
Let's go
I'm
get some
not gonna.
coffee.
I think if I'm being completely honest with you, though, so one of my friends in DC, she's been seeing. I don't know if she's still seeing him or not, but he's like out of just got out of a divorce or is actively going through a divorce, but like entered re-entered the dating scene. And a bit of the conversations I've been having with her as it relates to him is like being in a marriage and being in a relationship are two entirely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like she was talking about like she's super empathetic. Um, I think she was happy to be on this journey with him to unlearn what it meant to be married to a specific person that he fell in love with,
Hmm.
right? Versus just like casually dating again,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like I think his kind of main gripe is like, okay, I know how to be like, well, obviously not a perfect partner since they're getting a divorce, but I know how to like, I know the image of me being a perfect partner to a specific person. I don't know what that means for like just another woman who I like happen to
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
right on, you know. Um, so I don't know. I mean, that next wave of what are they called? Divorcees, people who
Divorce.
get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so curious to know like what that'll even look like for some people who, yeah, like haven't actually been either in a marriage or a long term relationship before, etc. Like when they stumble upon those people.
You know, actually, that kind of ties into another question I had for you, Temi, is like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm on TikTok way too goddamn much, but I have noticed that, like, a lot of, like, younger people, like, our age even and younger, have never been in, like, a serious relationship
Yeah.
before. And so I guess I'm curious about, like, if you were to be like out and like on a date with somebody because you already have the life experience, like you've not been married, but like you do have the life experience of being in a long-term partnership, does that become a deterrent to you at that point? Or like is it like a
Mm.
beige flag where you're like, is it
Does it
that
feel
you've
like
never,
pressure?
yeah, like is it that you've never been in a relationship because you have higher standards? Or is it like you're just now dating at our age? Like I've
Do
always
you
been
feel like you
curious.
have to set the tone for like that first like ultimate experience?
I would never hop into a relationship with someone who hasn't been in like a long term one at this point in my life. Um, Solely because I mean, just think about what it means to teach someone how to be in a relationship. Like, I just feel like the at this point, I think I'm starting to understand exactly like what I want, like certain things I'm like willing to like take, negotiate on, like my boundaries, etc. Right? Because at this point, I'm searching for compatibility. I'm not necessarily searching to like learn any more about. I'm obviously trying to learn about myself, but I'm not really trying to figure out like
Hmm.
what I like and what I dislike anymore. Right?
Hmm.
I mean, even just going back to when we were younger and dating, like how shitty was it probably for all of us to like
Yeah.
have to be that lesson for someone, right? On
Yeah.
like how to treat somebody in a relationship, how to show up in a relationship, how to be consistent, how to like, what I'm saying, like
Hmm.
decenter yourself and maybe like try and prioritize someone else for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Um, at this point, I mean, like I told you guys, I'm not really in the dating scene right now, but if I was and I was taking it seriously, I wouldn't want to necessarily like waste that time on someone who may or may not get it, or someone who may or may not end up being compatible with me,
Hmm.
right? And that's like
Hmm.
a risk you always take with anybody, right? But I'd rather, I guess, take that risk when like at least I get some semblance that we're like aligned on some of these like deeper things, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely, you said it was a beige. I'm calling it a yellow flag. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm
What do you
also
guys think?
curious.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I agree. I can see where you're coming from, but I also think that if you're compatible and it just so happens that that person's never been in a relationship, then that's just how that cookie crumbled. I don't think it would make anyone, I don't know if it's right to say more or less valuable because that's not how I'm trying to put it, but it doesn't mean that they're, I guess, more or less worthy of having that
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
relationship.
yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about even like worthiness. It's just there's like a threshold for me personally. I think
Mm,
of like the well, I guess Kira, you don't know my the relationship that sent me packing my bags from DC previously.
I do.
But I was in this like pretty toxic relationship, and I think for both me and her, it was us like actively trying, like kind of at war with one another, trying to figure out like how to be in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
like how to convince yourself that you're in a serious relationship, and like what does that actually look like, and like for sure, I mean, for so many different reasons, people might not get into a relationship like earlier in their lives. um but it's definitely something to like unpack, right? Like if you're on like a
mm.
first date or something like that, there's got to be some reason outside of um I don't know what the reasons would be actually.
I do wonder though, because like I've noticed, because I think, yeah, we are the first year of Gen Z. We are more culturally millennial than we are Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, that being said, when I refer to Gen Z, I mean people who are like roughly 3 to 5 years younger than us, minimum.
Mm-hmm.
What I have noticed is like the way we dated when we were younger, where it was like it was more than just like texting all the time and like
Yeah.
Snapchatting or like DMing on Instagram. Like we physically went places, even if it was just someone's like dorm room. Like we physically went places with other people. Whereas like,
I think across the board, because even looking at, like, I'm teaching high school students and seeing their dynamics, that the way they interact in person socially is so much different than when we were younger because everything is so heavily like on their phones on TikTok, even if they're sitting next to each other, sitting across from each other. It's all Snapchat, Instagram, um, TikTok. But I think when we were younger, we were afforded the the privilege of touching grass all the time
well,
because
yeah.
we had no choice. And I think the way that we socialized was heavily based in like community too, but we had to physically go out and seek those communities, and that also informed how we dated.
Well, that, but also I think like we had like talking stages for sure,
Yeah.
but like for like the younger members of Gen Z, it's like you're just talking, then you're in a situationship, then you're
Mm-hmm.
dating,
Mm.
then you're exclusive,
There's more
then you're
steps
in a
to it.
relationship. It's like a 5 point turn just to like get into like a titled situation. Whereas like I wonder if maybe that's why a lot of like younger members of Gen Z are saying that they're like, "Oh, I'm 23 and I've never been in a relationship before." It's like, "Well, no you have." Like
It's
in
just
so
not
many
being
ways you
coded as
have.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you mean to tell me that for 3 years, you and this one person didn't talk to anybody else, didn't see
Mm-hmm.
anybody else,
True.
didn't hook up with anybody else? You just didn't call each other boyfriend, girlfriend, or partner, or whatever the fuck. Like, bitch, that's a relationship.
You know what? I think it's because being avoidant has become so normal.
Yeah,
Now that
definitely.
I think about it, like avoidance is the norm now. That's why there's a talking stage, a situationship stage, and then whatever's between that and whatever's after that, and then hey, a year later now you're finally dating. If if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But like there's this heavy avoidance around making things official that I don't understand. Which kind
Especially,
of, oh, go ahead, Timmy.
no, you go.
Which kind of leads me into another question I've been thinking about. Because I also, among the other three men that we allow in the ether, hear differing time periods as to when you make things official. Some people are like, oh, it's like after 5 dates or 6 dates, it's after 3 months, it's after 6 months, it's after you've hit these, I don't know, pivotal points in meeting each other's friends or finally meeting a family member or something like that, then you make it official. What is your idea of the timeline as to what makes a relationship legit?
This is gonna sound so toxic, but I'm gonna stand on it.
Oh
Like,
no.
as long as it takes me to like one, like actually understand a person, and two, like understand that person in relation to me as well, right? I think I've unfortunately just been caught up so many times of like knowing that my intention with someone has been like, no, we've been having a lot of fun, but we still don't actually know each other, right? Like, just because we banter really well doesn't mean shit. Just because I've met your friends doesn't mean anything really, because at the end of the day, like, I need to understand if we're actually aligned on certain things that we just haven't spent enough time to like talk about and understand with one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think my timeline is truly as long as it takes. You can ask any people I've been like a talking stage with. Like some people, it's taken like a month for me to like between meeting them and like us being in a relationship. For others, it's I mean, I think
Go
the
ahead, let it
longest
out, King.
no, the longest it's been was probably like it's probably like 9 months, I think. So pretty much like there was this time in which one we were doing distance, right? Two, like we didn't actually get that much like alone time together because our friend groups were so intertwined. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And also I had no idea like kind of how long I was going to be on the East Coast for. So a lot of that vetting wasn't just for like, oh, are me and this person compatible? Do we get along? It was also, are we compatible in like a long term and long distance sense, right? And like you don't know any of those things unless you spend a lot of time with one another, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So I got like super dragged out. So yeah, I don't know if there's like a timeline I have in my mind. And again, that might be toxic, but again, me figuring that out is why I'm not in the dating scene right now.
If
See,
you say long distance, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kira.
oh, I'm just gonna say, I don't really think that's toxic at all. I think
Mm.
that, especially as we're getting older and we're like at the point that we're like, for those of us who like want to be married or want to be in like long term domestic partnerships, like we're we're a lot more particular than we might have been at like 21 or 22,
Yeah,
because when you're in your late teens and early 20s, like what the fuck does the timeline matter? The likelihood that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to like walk down the aisle to the person you met at like 21, let alone the chance that you're going to be the same person
sure.
that
Mm-hmm.
you were at 21 when you're almost 30, like slim to none. I know I'm definitely not. If
Yeah.
21-year-old me looked at me now, she'd be like, what the fuck happened to you?
I feel like between like 20 and 24, you go through such a metamorphosis.
Hmm.
It's like, how could you predict anything?
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing is stable at that time.
look, I think the longest I've gone seeing somebody without like a committed title was actually with Tyler. I think we saw each other for like 6 to 8 months. When we started seeing each other is a little murky, but um
Well,
approximately it was like between 6 to 8 months. And at like once we hit the 6 mark, like the 6 month mark, we both kind of looked at each other and were like, we have to figure out like if we enjoy
Mm.
doing what we are currently doing, or like if this is just going to be a fine for now situation.
yeah.
And it worked out, but I don't think timelines aren't incredibly important, but I do think being mindful of
Hmm.
milestones is important.
For sure.
If I've been seeing
I
someone
agree.
for like 3 months and I don't know what their best friend's name is, like we've
Hmm.
clearly not spoken about much of anything.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
agree.
when you guys were younger, do you feel as if you got enough experience to understand those things?
No.
Like, 'cause I
No.
feel like there's a, and maybe I just completely imagined it in my mind, but you know, like growing up, my social life was like extremely sheltered. Like up until senior year of high school, I think my curfew was like 11 p.m. You know, and
That's later than mine was. What the fuck?
Yeah.
that's a real thing. Um, no, but it was like one of those things where I would obviously hear from people like the dates they went on, or the fact that like their parents are out of town, so like their girlfriend was going to come over, like shit like that. But for me, I just had no concept of like what was like normal or expected of like dating and relationships, or like even what me as like the man in like a dynamic like that was supposed to be doing to like even court someone, until I got to college. And obviously college, no one knows what the fuck is going on. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think unfortunately on my end, in my like early 20s, I was figuring a lot of that stuff out, and I could like sense this tension of like, yeah, I was just like a dick, right? Like I was the person figuring the stuff out, kind of like I was kind of railing on earlier. I was the person figuring things out with like women whose like brains are obviously so much more mature than mine was it. Like that age, right? They like have the, you guys are making that face, but we all know that like women just are so much more
It's,
mature than men.
it's so
Oh no, this is us agreeing.
no.
Oh yeah.
True. We were
Um,
we were raising men like you back in the
Yeah.
oh,
day.
yeah, that's actually it, right? And I think there's like a I think up until recently, but like recently meaning like the end of my last relationship, where I realized that even now I like still somewhat I used to defer a lot of what was supposed to be happening in a relationship, or the timeline I was supposed to be on, to this person who I assumed had more experience than me,
Hmm.
right? And I think that caused a lot of turmoil, because in my mind, I would enter a relationship knowing I wasn't all that ready, but I wasn't mature enough to communicate that,
Yeah.
or like to know that that person might not be for me. I think that just caused a lot of friction. So I'm just curious to know from you guys if you guys felt as if you got enough like practice, experience, even like the things you might have heard from friends to like get you to a point where you knew what you like deserved, what you wanted, what you expected out of a partner, things like that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I know this is your podcast, but
But you're
sorry.
coming with some
I
excellent questions,
right.
Temper.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been yelled at also by both of you enough at this point that yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm the good cop in this situation.
Terrible. I'm a
I've
terrible.
been sternly spoken to by both of you at this point. So yes. But also just like personally, I feel like I've gotten to a place in my life where it's like, all right, I'm like jumping off on my career. I'm in the city that I've always wanted to live in and, getting ready to go off on my own. And I feel like I'm much more well rounded and know who I am, where I see myself, what I like, what I don't like, and also who I like and who I don't like. Um, Timmy, don't, do not,
I didn't even say anything for real,
you
man.
know?
Nah, go ahead. Continue.
I do. But the thing is, my flaw, I give a
Mm,
little bit of too much of the benefit of the doubt. And I need
mm,
to start trusting my gut.
mm.
And that's my lesson. It is my Saturn return year.
You
That's my
gotta,
lesson.
dude, you gotta get a lot more misandrist, beloved.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
it wasn't until I like started brutally hating Temi, relax, we like you. But like it wasn't until I started like legitimately hating men that I started to have good boundaries with men. Because it was like if you as a man, because that's the thing too, is like some men, especially a lot of the men in areas that I used to go out in, Logan Square, um, a lot of those types of men love to act as though they like are super tapped into the divine feminine, but
Mm.
they're like deeply terrified of being emasculated. Which like if you're comfortable in your own masculinity enough, you won't care if a girl's being mean to you while she smokes a cigarette in your face.
Yeah.
Never did that, but I'm just saying. But I've found that like the way that I was able to have boundaries with men was once that like knob like changed in my mind, where I went from like, there's some bad men out there, but like there's some good ones too, to all men are evil until proven otherwise. I've had a
Mhm.
much better relationship. Dude, like, because then I only hang out with men who truly are like comfortable in their masculinity, where like no matter what joke I make, either at my expense, their expense, both of our expenses, like men as a whole, like they don't get offended, they don't start like making an issue about like, oh well, women, never you mind about what women do, that has
Mhm.
nothing to do with you. But that's why like Temi is such good friends with us, because like he's not so wrapped up in what he thinks his masculinity should be that he makes it an us problem. Yes,
Mm,
Earrings.
yes,
I
girl.
mean,
I'm giving you your times. But to answer your question, Temi, actually, I don't think I had very good lessons in previous relationships. I had to learn actually how to be in a relationship through Tyler. Like
yeah,
Mm.
he's genuinely, because I also think not only do I love him, but I like him as a person. Like
Mm.
we had a very strong like friend dynamic going into our relationship. So it was a lot less about like my thought processes as they were in like previous relationships of like love sometimes being a choice and like an action, because my thought process with him has first and foremost always been like, but would I treat my friend this way? Or like, would I want
Mm.
one of my friends, where it's like, insert friend name here? Like, would I talk to Donovan like this? Would I talk to Temi like this? Would I talk to Artana like this? Because Tyler fills that same slot. We just also happen to be dating. Like, that, like, he has taught me a lot about what it's like to be in a long term, like, serious relationship. A lot of the other men that I were with were children, where it very much was like, well, what are you gonna do to make this work? I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not
yeah.
gonna tell you what it takes to make our relationship work, because I don't want to be in it, and I'm waiting for the opportune time to leave.
I mean, to, have you guys seen the movie The Drama yet?
No.
Oh, you guys need to watch it because I actually like. I'm not going to spoil anything. I promise you. Like one of the dynamics that I walked away with that I hope is like a mainstream discussion point after everybody watched the movie is like how like open and willing men currently are to like understand or believe that like yeah like a woman has like a certain level of power over them, right, whether it be a lot or a little bit. I don't know if like men are entirely comfortable like sitting with that fact. I mean, I'm gonna like
Mhm.
take either some philosophies that I shared like a few years back, some like my friends as well, where it always feels as if like on our side of things, there's always some justification that we've either convinced ourselves or convinced someone else that like this is something that we've allowed, if that makes sense.
Mm. Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, and I think with that is like whether anyone wants to admit it or not, there's like some like deep level of like still control that you have to have over the
Mhm.
narrative that like, no, I did this because I'm like this, I've allowed this person to have control over me. right? Um, and like I don't even know what like the healthy way to like frame that or brand that is, rather than simply two people existing and that just being human nature that like you give and take certain things in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think what you were just talking about, um, uh, Kira, is that I think some of the times in which I felt as if not even I felt, I knew I was like the child or like the more immature one in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There was some piece of me that like that urge to like feel as if I had still had some power, right?
Mm,
Insecurity is like, okay, the day that she realizes I'm still like a child or I'm not experienced enough, she's gonna bounce and be with someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that control piece of it was typically me like removing her like, you know, any of my girlfriends like free will, autonomy to like actively choose me because of the things that she wants. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
a lot of it was rooted in me convincing them to be with me rather than them simply choosing me because that's who they want to be with. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so like I don't know. I feel like a lot of these reflections came like recently, and again, that's kind of why I'm like not dating right now because it sucks to be in a relationship and like have to like understand that these are like inklings that you're getting while you're actively in a relationship, but you still put on the performance of what you think you should be in a relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd rather at this point figure that shit out on my own than take someone through that roller coaster of kind of all that is to unpack. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Well,
I
because I think,
think that's
yeah.
a I
Sorry.
think that's a good kind of like reflection to wrap it up with too, and just kind of realizing the power dynamics that are also at play within relationships, because that's also not really something that we touched on last episode either.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Mhm.
also curious as kind of your final piece. What would be your advice to men and or women out here in the dating sphere?
Ooh. I'm thinking hard about this one. This
I
being
see.
recorded. Um,
I'm just thinking.
Probably that. What would you say, Kira?
Oh, sorry. No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Um, Probably like the advice would be for both men and women. If you ever find yourself feeling as if like you need your partner, you need to do some reflection as to like why you feel it's like a need rather than like a choice that you're like actively like a part of and like making every single day. Um, I feel like a lot of people feel like a lot of anxiety that they need to be with like their partner, like need to make someone their partner and all these things. And like with that comes I think a lot of hurt, if I'm being honest with you, in so many different forms. Whether like that be like your self confidence or like um, yeah, like the dynamic of a relationship, the trust you have in someone else, etc. It just like puts a lot of unnecessary pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that'd be my advice.
I love that
That's
advice.
beautiful.
Thanks,
So
y'all.
beautiful.
Thanks, y'all.
So, Timmy, we usually close out our episodes with something called a crash out corner. So, as our first guest of the
Mm,
pod, our guest of honor, would you like to start off our crash out corner this week?
I would love to, if I know what that is.
So, it's something that has been plaguing your mind, something that's been irking you, something that has made you reach your wits' end.
Mm,
Something that has just grinded your gears and irritated you so bad over the past week. Let it rip.
I don't think that we've had like a run of good music truly since like 2016. Like there is no reason for me. Listen, y'all, this has been my crash out. I'm actively continuing till this day to go back to albums, to songs, to artists who are hot back in like 2016. All right, that's 2016 through like 2020, I would say. Like I'm going through those windows, and I haven't really been bumping stuff outside of Gunna since then. I know it's crazy. Listen, it's nuts. That's been my crash out. And
We
maybe I
should,
just need to. Maybe I
we should
need
have
to.
never. We should have never asked this man that damn question.
Right.
Come on, yo.
Here we
Come
fucking
on.
He
are.
really said there hasn't been good music since 2016. What are you listening to?
As if a new Slater album didn't literally just come out. As
It's
if
been
as if ASAP Rocky didn't just put out another incredible album.
But
As
hold
if
on, is it better than old ASAP Rocky? I think that's the point I'm trying to make. No one's making peak anymore, and you guys know that. You guys can admit that. Why are
but I
40-year-old men
also
still making rap
actually,
albums?
well, that's their story. That's their journey. I
they're
don't
Why are
think
young
they
it's
in
still why are
spirit.
they still why are they still topping the charts? Because no one's really
because of
making.
who they are.
They peaked a decade ago, and like we still
Right.
trust them to make good music, but it's not the best they've ever come up with.
But I think that they've, well, let me not say
Here
they
is like
as in
saying
all of them, but some artists have solidified themselves in the icon category, especially in the 2010s, especially 2016. 2016 was a major, like that summer was major.
hmm
A lot of legends are made in 2016. And
Hmm.
because of that, it's the nostalgia of it. So of course they're going to return to it. But I think saying that no good music has been dropped is dramatic.
Okay,
Crazy,
good
crazy.
good
Crazy.
good music has been dropped. I think timeless music has not been dropped.
Also crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's making timeless hits right now?
Tame Impala,
Honestly,
Cage the
yeah.
Elephant. Dude, like, here's the thing.
Disclosure. I enjoy Disclosure.
The thing.
Honest man.
A lot
Ray.
a lot of punk bands, there's been a major punk resurgence over
Yeah,
the last
that's
arguably
true.
5 years,
Yeah.
where we're having super groups from like bands that took hiatuses come into the play. You have artists that were big like 20 years ago having a resurgence because like the youngins found their old shit. Like we're having a moment.
Hold on. Wait, isn't that my point though?
We're not just
People
talking
are
about
having a
the
resurgence.
old stuff though, but we're talking. It's like a comment. We do have timeless music.
Yeah.
Okay.
We absolutely have timeless
But there's
music.
also new music that is also delicious and fabulous and will become timeless that is made currently.
Maybe I should have made it more specific to rap and hip hop. Because
Yeah,
I've been really unsatisfied. But I'll listen to your Cage the Elephant and Tame Impala and all that stuff, and I'll see if there are any
I thought
classics.
I thought the new Clips album was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty fire.
Yeah, see exactly.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got me. I'm wrong. You're right.
As always. As always.
Donnie,
Kira, you. Oh,
oh,
you want me to go?
we could just both scream really loud,
Ah.
and that's how the
Uh,
podcast ends. Just a harsh cutoff.
right. Just like the, what is it, the Wilhelm scream?
Crank
Just for like
it.
5 minutes. Right. Let me see. My crash out, honestly, it's more so I'm just ready to like be outside. I think the past 2 days, and Timmy, don't look at me like that either.
See, Kira, did I even say anything though?
I
No, but it
I
was
didn't
it
even
was
say
I
the
really
it
didn't
was
even
the
say anything.
curve of the lip and the
I
and the
didn't
side
even
and the
I didn't
slight
even
side
get
eye.
to see the look on
That's what I'm
his
saying. I
face.
didn't. I didn't get to see
No,
the
and
look
you want to
either.
no, because I talked to Timmy the other day and I was like, I can't wait to be outside, and he was like, I know you. You're not gonna be. So he's already feeling away. But let me cook. Let me finish.
Believe women.
I'm ready to be outside. These past 2 days have been stunning. It was in the mid 70s yesterday. It was in the low 80s today. Sun is out. Clouds, not a cloud in the sky. I'm ready to be on a beach. I need to be near water. I would like to have an amaretto sour in hand on a patio with the girls. And it's just like work is all consuming. Grad school is all consuming. I have to take these certification exams. That is all consuming. Graduation is around the corner. That seems like a lot of pressure. Hiring events for the next school year, a lot of pressure. And it just seems like everything, well, not seems like everything is on my plate. And I'm just ready to like be done. I don't want to grade a paper. I don't want to write a paper. I don't want to look at emails. I want to be outside in my rightful place in a kitten heel in a cute dress with an iced beverage, braids up, just outside.
Period.
And I feel like I deserve that. That is my wish. That is my want. And it's upsetting that it's not getting here faster
Come on,
because
Bridget.
I need it and I need it now.
Girl,
It's
I
real.
agree.
Do you have anything to add, Timiford?
I think you guys were right that you guys shouldn't have started with me. That's a real crash out. You know what I'm saying?
We
So
can.
maybe I blew my opportunity. I think my actual crash out is that I've been trying to get my dual citizenship in Nigeria, but because it's Nigeria, the website in order to get that dual citizenship has been down for the last month, bruh.
Damn.
And like, I'm trying to get the fuck out of this country. You know, that's another crash out. The headlines, stop fucking playing with me. I'm trying to get out of here.
That's a whole other episode.
Exactly. I'm trying to get
Matter
out of
of
here.
fact, we should have you back just to talk politics.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm happy to talk relationships, politics, fashion. I mean, y'all, y'all can, y'all can leave the fashion to Houston, man. That's not,
He said, I mean,
but unless
It was the rocking back and forth for me. The
I
passion
mean,
of politics. I mean,
oh my god, Kira, get the spotlight off of me, man. What's your
oh
crap?
Lord.
what's your
Okay.
crash out?
Oh fuck. Okay, so my crash out, unfortunately, is a mess of my own making. So I'm not even upset at anyone besides myself. I have flown too close to the sun in terms of putting things on hold at the local library. This is now the fourth time in 2 months where all all of my holds are in at the same time. All of them are in at the same time. And like, dude, these are books that I was like 170th in line for like a
Oh,
month ago. How did I skip that many people? Dude, I sit here and I can't read that fucking fast.
are you crying?
Dude, it's like the most pressure and anxiety I've ever felt in my fucking life. Dude, it just like it's so over because like I have a Kindle, so like half of these books are coming in like physical, so I've got to go walk to the library every 2 days to be like, I'm so sorry that you got another shipment of like dumbass books that I decided to read, mixed in with like nonfiction about like why America sucks. And then I also have Libby, which is like the
Ooh.
online library.
Mm,
If you have a library card, first of all, PSA, if you have a library card, get your ass on fucking Libby. You can get like
yep.
free 99 ebooks. Read them on your phone.
And you can also access Canopy depending on your library, so you can stream movies for free.
Oh, period. I gotta look into that. But yeah, so I have 5 things on Libby that just came in the time we've been recording. 5 of my holds on Libby came in. And this morning, I got a call and they said, 4 of your materials are ready to be picked up.
That's
What?
9 one day,
Yeah,
bruh.
yeah.
Uh,
So I'm fucked. If you don't see or hear from me in the near future, mind you, I also have 4 library books I haven't even started yet at my house. I'm in hell, and it's a hell of my own making. This is the gluttony they talk about in the Bible, and it's my fault.
Does this require some intervention? Like, what do we do?
Dude, I think I just need to like put the library card down for a little bit because But then people keep recommending me books, and I feel rude if I don't read them.
You can start a
You can
list.
pace it.
No, I can't do either of those things.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Jeez.
It's okay, guys. I'll just like drop off the face of the earth for like 72 hours, and I'll probably have like half of these books read.
72 hours.
That's too
Yeah,
long.
girl, I've already read 44 books this year.
Oh, period.
Because
Why
I'm
do
still
you?
trying to learn how to read.
You are still trying to learn how to read. It's okay.
Yeah,
We are in a literacy crisis. It's okay.
You'll get there.
someday.
You'll get there. They got programs for
Yeah.
adult literacy one day.
You can get you some phonics books.
You're friends with
We
two
got you.
teachers.
Right.
We can
We
help
got
you.
you.
But you haven't helped me, so.
You never brought it up.
You know what? We can only help you as much as you want to help yourself, and you have not reached out.
Yes, you said we're over time, right?
Well, actually, with that said, folks,
Oh, my
go ahead and follow us on social media, our Instagram, our TikTok.
Dude, they're in the description. Just look.
They are in the description, our beautiful website. Keep a lookout for us every Tuesday on your favorite platform of choice. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. And that's all. Get out the stall. Don't forget to wash your hands.
There's a
And we'll
line.
see you next week.
There's a fucking line.
On. See you next week on.
See you, cunt.
This is not your program.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Cunt, everybody.